Welcome back, everybody. It's been a week.
What's up?
We came back banging. We got John the Dram Daddy and Joe not invited. It's an inside joke for anybody who doesn't get it. I'm not going to explain it. But Joe, let's start with you. You are not necessarily a whiskey content person. However, you're more into the cigar type or the cigar side of things, but you do enjoy to drink some whiskey. So how long you been drinking whiskey? What's your favorite type? That kind of stuff. Let us know.
Well, as our friends will say, I've been drinking it since the dawn of time. But of course, I started at a young age, probably like 14, 15, with Jack Daniels, all the basic stuff. It wasn't until I found Redbreast cask strength that's when I started really getting into different whiskeys, and that's still one of my favorites. And ever since then, it's, especially meeting you guys, it's been a drain on the wallet. I just got that new Detling in, so
there you go. All right, and smoking cigars. How long you been smoking cigars for?
Since
longer than whiskey or shorter than
whiskey?
whiskey?
About 20, since I was 20 years old.
All right. So what is that, about 80, 85 years ago?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
All right, John, yourself. We haven't had a lot of interaction together, but I do know a little bit. So Dram Daddy, what is the Dram Daddy? I know that sounds probably a little more risque than it really is.
It is. It's incredibly worse than I guess it sounds. So I started drinking whiskey probably around 2012. Really started kind of getting into it. I guess deeper in those years. Right around 2016, started doing some distillery tours, and then probably over the last, I'd say, 4 years, I've really kind of ramped up my my purchasing power, as I say. Just through various promotions at work, made it a lot easier to collect and add on. But so Dram Daddy actually came from I had just become a father right when I was kind of starting to start like whiskey IG or whatever.
Okay.
And I was just a proud girl dad, man. Just really, that's kind of how it started. And I'm also a big fan of alliteration, so it felt appropriate when I was doing the name. But I just, kind of created my account just to keep it separate from like my personal account, my home life,
Yeah.
Obviously, just, you don't want to overshare some of those kitty pictures, that, online. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's how it started.
Absolutely. Excellent. So do you have just one or multiple kids now?
Just the one. I'm a one and done kind of guy, man.
Excellent.
I'm exhausted.
You got to stop at perfection though, right?
She's great. And that's the thing is like, I was a shit kid growing up, and I'm like, I don't want to run the risk of like having another one. And also, fun fact, twins run in my family.
Ooh.
So my mother's a twin. She also has sisters that are twins. So 2 sets on that side. And I'm like, I don't want to run the risk, have 3, and then my wife and I are playing zone coverage. So
I was told a while ago that the kids should never outnumber the parents. So
100%.
Makes it a lot easier that way. So you guys go ahead. You opened them up. You got them in your glass. Let's get it. Go ahead and start getting into sample number 1. For the viewers at home, if you have not caught a show yet, basically I sent them 3 samples. They are the same samples for each person. They have to guess a generic category, generic casking, generic proof, and ABV. Each one of those is worth a point. Then they have to move on to specific category, specific casking, and specific proof or ABV. Each one of those is also worth a point. For some bonus points, if they guess the exact distillery and the exact bottle, each one of those is worth 2 points. So there is a possibility of 10 points per sample, 30 points for the set. And the person at the end with the most points moves on to the next round in the bracket. So with that being said, let's do a little roll call. Joe, you usually are the first one in the comments, waiting and waiting and waiting. But today you are not. Whiskey Addict Mike.
Yeah,
first one in the comments.
Frickin' Mike.
He came in at 6:15, so I don't know
Yeah,
what he's doing,
I
but
was getting stuff set up.
so Mike, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Spicy Strawberry, how you doing, Spice? Brian F is in the house. Brian, how you doing, buddy? Patricia, how you doing, Patty? She's on tomorrow, so make sure we tune in tomorrow again for Patty and Stacy 4-Leaf Whiskey. Megan Coffee in the house. Megan, how you doing? That is Whiskey Care, or is it Whiskey Cares or Whiskey Care? Whiskey Care on Instagram. We got Randall the Whiskey Shaman. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining. Rough Spirits in the house. Thank you, Marshall. Caesar is in the house. How you doing, Caesar? Thanks for watching, buddy. Bourbon with Friends here again. I'm assuming this is going to be Brian. We got Fast How To is in the house. How you doing, buddy? This is a buddy of mine, Jeff, who has his own YouTube channel named Fast How To, all about home automation and other cool things. So check him out. Adrian Shine, how you doing, hon? Dan Whiskey Punkard, how you doing, bud? Jake Booker, that's a new name in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Tony, how you doing, buddy? Corey, nice to see you again. Yeah, mellow shirt tonight. I couldn't figure out which flannel to wear, so I just opted for the well, that's neat t-shirt.
I'm torn between two
Sips at the
generic
Lodge.
categories.
Got it. I forgot to do that. And I forgot to do that. I got some new things here that I did while I was on a break for a week, and I'm totally forgetting to do them. So forgive me.
Oh, I like the nice little icon now. Sample 1.
Yeah. And I made little videos to go in between for sample 1, sample 2, and sample 3. And I forgot to play sample 1. So we'll have to catch back up on sample number 2.
Yeah, I'm torn between this one.
People in the chat love to hear some tasting notes or thoughts or comments or shit talking or.
Yeah, the Cubs suck. So the Blackhawks.
Ooh.
All right, now you're.
Hey, you said shit talking.
That's going a little too far.
Where are you at, Joe?
California. So my team won the World Series. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember when my team beat you and your team in 2016. I was actually at that game.
Yeah, but then that was, you guys only won 1 where we have 8 now. So. But no, you have 2 because don't you have one?
We have 3. There's 3. It's like 1907, 1908, and then 2016.
Yeah.
No, actually, Caesar Laundry Day was this weekend, so everything is actually clean. Everything is actually clean. Brian asks, what am I drinking tonight? I am drinking the World Whiskey Society's Wyatt Earp American Single Malt.
Torn. Shoot.
This is the single barrel cast strength version, and it is actually wonderfully delicious. Yeah, Joe, I think there's a good Chicago following in here. So you just, I don't know.
Well, it's not like I'm going to be in Chicago anyway. They're not going to,
I mean, I was all right with the Cubs comment. I'm a Sox fan, but
yeah, but I'm a Kings fan too.
Yeah, I'm a Blackhawks fan.
Mm-hmm.
I remember 2014? I think it was. I want to say it was the Alec Martinez goal off of what was it? Was it Nick Leddy? I can't remember that series. I know it was like, I mean, there were tons of series where the Blackhawks and Kings played like some grueling series, just brutal. And like what, from 2010 to like 2016, 17.
Yeah, I mean that's when the Kings were kind of good. I mean they were good in the early 2000s when they won that championship.
Yeah.
But
See, this is why Patty and I get along. She's a Packers fan and a Sox fan, and I do believe
gross.
she roots for the Blackhawks as well.
yeah, I went to one playoff game in high school. It was we had Gretzky at the time, and it was against Edmonton. I remember I sold a car stereo just to buy tickets so I can go to that game.
You stole or you
No,
sold?
sold.
Oh,
So I had
man,
birthday and Christmas money. I bought a stereo system for my car, and I sold it to go to the game.
All right, Brian. We're gonna have words, you and I.
I remember going to Hawks games back when they used to break into your car to leave the tickets, because like you couldn't sell games out for nothing, and they were blacked out. They were blacked out here. You couldn't even watch them on TV.
Brian, I don't think really anybody roots for the Broncos anymore. I think that kind of went away with
Stick with my first one.
Elway
I'm gonna drop this one.
as he played.
240. Shoot, I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Yeah, I'm struggling right out the bat. My goal is not to embarrass myself tonight. So that's my goal.
And realistically, John, there's no embarrassment here. This is very difficult.
Except if you're Martin and you lose again.
Well, hey, I will say that was a good proper battle. Martin and Dylan was a good proper battle.
I got to tease him. Come on.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, and he's not even here. Where the hell is that fool?
Yeah, where is that fool?
Let's see. I'm on exact distiller and exact bottle now. I'm just gonna. Thing is, I don't know who makes this stuff. Let's see. This is my weakest category. I mean, I know they're asking for notes earlier. Right off the nose, it was very sweet, but then that died on the palate.
Yeah, it dried out real quick.
Yeah.
It was like.
But at first pour, it was like all ethanol. It was just straight alcohol. And then when that went away, it was sweet. And then now it's.
As soon as I nosed it, I'm thinking it was like a corn whiskey right off the bat, and because of how sweet it was, and then it got like fruity, like apricot-y, pear.
And then now I'm not getting anything. No.
I feel like this is going to be a category that I'm just like not familiar with.
Let's go. Okay, I'm just going to put this down. I don't know.
Corey, why you want to hurt me like that?
Oh, wait. No. I'm going to do this one. I don't remember the bottle name. Okay, I am ready.
Joe says he's ready. John, whenever you are, take your time. No rush.
Yeah, no rush.
I finally got that note that I was trying to figure out in this. I've been working on it for 2 days. When you have cereal, and specifically this one is Fruity Pebbles, but you let it sit and the milk turns that fruity pebbled flavored milk.
Well, speak of the devil. See, you say his name 3 times and he shows up.
No, somebody said Detlane 3 times.
Oh,
Spicy said Detlane.
Oh, there you go.
So Martin came in after that. He heard his mating call. Detlane.
Look at Marshall. I mean, you should talk. You don't have either.
And
Actually,
I am lost on this.
yeah.
It's all right. It means I did my job. Actually, it means my randomizer did the job, but
Do you mind if I pour the second one just to air out a bit?
you go right ahead. You can pour all of them if you want.
I just don't, since I'm done tasting, I don't want it to mess up this one. That's why.
Just sometimes I know people have said in the past that if they have all three of them sitting out, they can smell.
Yeah,
kind of other
this
ones,
one's
so it makes
far
it
enough
real.
away, and I'm already done tasting. So, how old's your daughter, John?
She's about to turn 5 in January.
Excellent.
So first grade, or going to start first grade?
So she's in pre-K now. She's going to start kindergarten next year.
Mm.
So January birthday, starting a little bit later, obviously. So
Yeah.
but it's a lot of fun. It's exhausting. Very exhausting, but super fun nonetheless.
Yeah, 4 to 6 is the fun years. It's when they get their personality and they act crazy.
Yeah, she's got a ton of that.
And it's all downhill after that. I have 3 of them, 3 kids. So
I like the way your camera's blurring out your background, or did you set that up to do that?
I have no idea how it does
Okay, so it's just focused on you and it's kind of blurring out the back. That's
it could be an option in StreamYard.
There you go. Is that better?
When you use it.
There you go.
It is. I mean, I liked it before. I thought it was cool looking, but I thought maybe it was your camera.
I think it's the Mac camera, the MacBook camera.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we might as well go because I'm going to be taking shots in the dark with this one.
Doug, thanks for dropping by. I know you got your own show to do. You guys are bouncing back and forth between channels. Doug over at Single Malt Frontier has got American Single Cask on tonight, so that'll be really cool to watch. They are a new independent bottler. All right. Let's see. Joe, let's start with you. Run them down.
All right. Generic, single malt. Generic ABV, 44%. Generic cask is used. Let you catch up. All right. Specific is Scotch, single malt. Specific ABV is 40. Specific cast, use bourbon. Exact distillery, Glenmorangie, I think it is. Morangi.
Glenmo.
Yeah. I don't know the bottle, but I think it's the one that Mike has. I don't know the name of the bottle. I don't remember what it was called. So I don't have really a specific bottle.
I'm trying to think of which one that is. Hey, Donald, how you doing, bud? Yeah, okay. Got it. John?
And I was debating. I was between like pot still and like malted because it just wasn't like super malty at like the beginning.
Yeah,
but
I almost thought Irish at first as well.
That's what and that's really where I was. I was I'm going to stick with Irish. I because I was debating, is this an Irish or Scotch? And I'm not an either guy. I don't really drink a lot of either. I don't have a lot of experience with either.
Sure.
And it's, if it is a Scotch, it's not a peated Scotch because I didn't throw up. But I'll say, I'm going to go single pot still. I'm going to go general ABV of 40, 80 proof. General casking, I'm going to say used. Specific category, I'm going to stick with Irish.
Irish single pot still.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the finish was so, man, it's unfinished, but because of how drying it was, I'm like almost debating if it was like a sherry finish because it dried out so much at the end.
Sorry about my dog.
You're good.
Oh, you're good. I'm gonna say sherry. I'm gonna say sherry. Because
And
I just
then
I got some fruit notes and it was like super drying at the end, so I'm gonna stick with that.
your specific ABV, did you stay with 40? Did you bump it?
Yeah, 40.
And distillery bottle?
Man, I don't know enough about Irish, and because Joe already kind of mentioned Redbreast, I'm gonna say Redbreast.
RB.
Yeah, I don't think it's Redbreast. Could be.
Okay. I'm
It could be a spot. I don't think it's a spot either. I haven't had Powers. What's that other one? Teeling? I don't think it's Teeling either. But yeah, I was torn between Scotch or Irish. I couldn't. But there's just something on that first sip that gave me Scotch.
All right, good guesses all the way down, gentlemen. And go ahead, start. Back to the comments.
Mm.
So we have a Donald Rance joining us. How you doing, Donald? Thanks for popping in.
What up, homie?
Yo.
Did your wife just call you a homie?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm drinking out of the glass that she got from the Daiso, the Japanese store. It's
Oh,
their
cool.
Japanese tasting glass.
That's pretty cool looking glass.
Yeah. $1.75. All right, I need something. I still have that other one of me.
Thanks, Patty. Appreciate you. All right, so I got people saying they like the little graphic. That's cool. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you how long I spent on that. All right, guys, in the chat, this Wyatt Earp, if you run into this, it's absolutely worth it. This is really, really unique and good. I concur, Dan. Absolutely.
Okay,
Such
go
a
over there.
great whiskey.
Don't get my shirt dirty. Shoot.
I can get you on that, Patty.
Hmm.
That's what it's all about. I love that right there. Sample swapping, sharing, and somebody went and bought a bottle because of a sample. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I feel better about the category and specific category. I think it's just the rest that I'm struggling on this too.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with the casking.
The one thing I can tell you is everybody that has been in the competition so far says I should have just gone with my gut. I should have just gone with my gut. So if you got a gut feeling,
No. Why?
rock it. While you guys are going through that,
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm gonna try to play a little ad from this show's sponsored the entire season, and we're gonna try it, see what happens. I love Dick's.
I know you
Yes,
do.
Richard's Liquors is a sponsor of the show. They graciously sponsored the show for the entire season. They are located in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. If you make Wisconsin plans, please include in those plans. It is close to a lot of travel to Wisconsin, and they are hands down the best store in the state. The store picks are fantastic. The selection is fantastic, and the people there are absolutely the best. So
I think I'm done. I mean, yeah, I'm not getting much out of this one. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what category it is, but I can't pick up anything else.
Yeah, we can go ahead.
it makes it hard when you can't, when you can't get anything out of them. And I know there's a handful of whiskeys out there that just don't give up a lot of stuff. John, if you are ready, go ahead and start them off and shoot them down.
All right. So for general category, I'm going to say it's a single malt. I'm going to go ABV of, man, this one just did not drink hot. I'm going to say 45. I'm going to say it's a new cask. Specific category, I'm going to say American single malt. And I don't think it's finished.
Okay, is that sticking with new cask then?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with new.
Okay. And then are you sticking with the same on the ABV?
Yeah, I'll stay with 45.
And do you have a distillery or a bottle guess?
So again, just another area I'm just not super strong in are American single malts, just not usually my jam.
Yep.
But I'm going to go with one that's probably, I've been seeing a lot lately. I'm going to say Westward.
And a bottle idea?
Ooh, I guess I don't know whatever their standard American single malt, because I don't think it's a cask strength or anything like
just
that.
their flagship. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, Joe, what do you got?
I got single malt.
Okay.
Generic is 50%. Generic casking is new. Specific is American single malt. Specific is 50. And the specific casking is also new. And I think the distillery is Westland. And I don't know the exact bottle. I'm going to guess their bottle and bond if they do have one.
Okay. Well, you guys were relatively close throughout that whole thing.
Close. Which doesn't make me feel that bad about it, because like I said, ASMs are just not usually my jam. Don't have like a ton of experience.
Yeah, and what killed me is I took a bigger drink at the end, and I got something at that. I got something out of that. I was like, but I was like, I'm going to stick with my guesses.
All right, guys.
All right.
Tallied up there. Let's move on to so in that little logo up in the corner, instead of me hand writing these labels like I did last year with the tape, and this year I had that black sticker with the marker. I ordered 200 stickers of each 1, 2, and 3, and those will be the stickers on the bottles now going forward. So that'll make that a little bit easier for me. All right.
Oh, Adrian, you do like one.
That's so not you. I guess technically what you're saying isn't untrue, but there is some out there that you really enjoy.
There was, I would say the only one that, and I gave them mad props for this. The only one that I like have not hated this year has been the Cedar Ridge, the quintessential.
Just the standard quintessential.
It's this year's cigar.
Oh, the cigar malt.
Cigar, yeah. Like didn't hate it, which I'm
Okay.
like, this is a lot, you know, because I'm usually like, it's the finish for me on single malt, like American single malts, where I'm just, it leaves like such a bad aftertaste for me. It's just hard for me to get through the finish.
Okay.
But that one, I was like, I could see why people really enjoyed it. I mean, it was really complex. It had like, I mean, it had, I don't know how many different finishes on it, but
That one was a lot.
yeah,
I think 6, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, it was something crazy. But I mean, I get it. I could see why people really enjoyed it.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, it was finished in one of their estate, like it's like Madeira, but made by them. Then Amontillado, then French oak, then new oak, then the peated portion of that was finished in a ruby port barrel. So yeah, it was it had an active life.
Yeah, so I know you love this one, John.
Yeah, I know exactly. I don't know the bottle, but I know what this is.
I do feel. Yeah, I won't go there yet.
And it's definitely not heavy peated. It's definitely not Ardbeg or Lafroig or something with a Octomore. Definitely not any of those.
So I think Lafroig 10 was like my first experience with Scotch, and I was like, and everyone tells me like that was.
Hey, quiet.
That was not nice of whoever did that to you.
No, not at all. This is also
I mean,
like probably like 12 years ago.
Yeah. And not to say that, you know, there is people out there that'd be their first drink of whiskey and they'd absolutely love it. There is that. But that's a really aggressive tasting whiskey to give somebody for the first time in a category. And
yeah,
I think you kind of got to ease into that kind of stuff. That's my thoughts on it. But what do you want to start a poll about, Marshall?
I feel like I've had something similar to this. Just can't pinpoint it. Because was it Zach sent me a whole bunch of samples a couple years ago, and they're all peated Scotch. And this reminds me of one of them.
Yes, Randall, the Lost Lantern fall release is tomorrow. It's a small release, but it's a big release. We'll put it that way. 4 bottles only, but they are all 10-year age stated American whiskeys from craft distilleries. 2 ryes, bourbon, and a single malt. Yes, yes, Megan. Here, try this dirt flavored whiskey. Yes, I love that.
I did buy a scotch last weekend or the weekend before. It's the first scotch I think I've ever bought.
That's exciting.
It's Mossburn
Okay.
12-year. It's finished in Foursquare rum cask.
So
was that the one from Great American Spirits or Great American? So I got that bottle for $10. I think the same one.
Did you really?
that is that's an independent bottler. So I don't know what distillery that one was, but
I think it's that one.
Well, I wasn't mad at it.
I haven't tried it yet.
Dan, obviously the Tom's Foolery 10-year bourbon is going to be the one that it's probably going to go the fastest. I would agree with you that the New York Rye that they're putting out is going to be definitely one to go after. The Westland also going to be very good. They don't make that spirit anymore over at Westland. So that was, from 10 years ago when they sourced barley and peated barley for that matter from Scotland. And they're now using all American barley and peat. So that one is also really good. That Spirit Works one, I feel like people don't know who Spirit Works is. They make excellent whiskey. So a 10-year-old rye from them probably going to be really good as well. So
No. It's not that one. It's not that. What is it? What's that bottle?
All right. Abs in the dark here, but
Yeah, same here. I mean, pretty sure both going to get the specific category right.
yeah.
I don't know. Germ's like, I don't know. It could be. I don't think it's a ASM.
I don't think so either.
you'll have to just wait for the reveal, I guess.
We'll have to
I'll
wait
be
till
shocked,
next week.
but
Come back again.
Let's see. We went Joe, then John. So Joe, back to you. Start them up.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. Are you guys both ready?
yeah.
I thought I heard you both say.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So single malt, generic ABV 56, generic cast used, specific Scottish single malt, specific ABV. I'm going a little bit lower. Going to go 53. Specific casking. I don't think there's anything after it. I can't pinpoint it, but I'm just so it's going to be used, used bourbon or used. And exact distillery. I think it's a Port Charlotte, but since it's a higher proof, I'm going to go with the SMWS for the exact bottle.
Okay. So, all right. So distillery, you said Port Charlotte, which is actually a bottle from the Bruichladdich distillery.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, the sample I had just said.
Yeah.
Port Charlotte.
So, right. The distillery on Port Charlotte is Bruichladdich. And then you think it's an SMWS?
Yeah.
Brook. Okay. All right. John, go ahead.
all right. General category, I'm going to go with single malt. Generic casking, I'm going to say new. General ABV, I'm going to say 45. Specific category, I'm going to say Scotch single malt. Specific ABV, I'm going to bring it up just a bit to 46. And then distillery.
Casking specific.
Oh,
casking.
casking. I think it's just charred oak.
Sticking with new. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, new charred. Yeah, new charred
Yep.
oak.
Okay, sorry. Distillery.
Distillery. God, I've like I said, my experience with Scotch is very limited, but there was a Scotch that I tried that kind of tasted similar to this, so I'm gonna take a stab and say Lagavulin.
Lana. And do you have a bottle of that?
I'm gonna say specific bottle or exact bottle. I'm gonna say the one that I tried that tastes similar. That maybe I'm just gonna take a stab again. I'm gonna say the Offerman, the 11-year.
Got it.
I will say I'm pretty confident that you did get me to drink American single malt and peated Scotch tonight.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a sample that you both can agree on was your favorite sample.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
None of them are my favorite.
Out of the three, Joe.
Out of the ones that I like the most out of them, I'd say one.
I would say two.
Okay, so sample number 3 is the one that we're going to start with.
All
right. Usually, if you guys agree, like sample number 2 was both of your favorites, we'll start with that one. But since you both had different ones, I picked the one that you didn't pick. So here we go with the reveal.
Fancy.
All right. So sample number 3. You both said single malt. Neither one of you got a point on that. Joe, you said 56 ABV. You were high by 10. John, you said 45. So you did get a point on that. It was actually 46. Joe, you said used caskings. John, you said new. Joe, it is used casking. So you take a point there. Specific category, you both said Scottish single malt. It is actually blended malt Scotch.
Okay.
So the generic category would have been blended malt.
Got it.
ABV, we're at 46%. Joe, you're high at 53. John, you hit it right on the head at 46. Awesome. Good job. Specific casking. Joe, you said ex-bourbon. You are correct. It is ex-bourbon. There is multiple caskings in this, but they are all ex-bourbon. There is one of these that is not ex-bourbon. It's a French oak, but there's like 4 casks on it, 3 of which are ex-bourbon. So you saying ex-bourbon, you caught that. John, you said new oak, so no point there. Distillery, Joe, you said Bruichladdich from SMWS. John, you said Lagavulin Offerman. It is actually Compass Box.
You know,
Peat Monster Arcana.
Okay.
So this Peat Monster is a release that they do all the time. The Arcana was a special release from them. The distilleries on this are Talisker, Milton Duff, and Ardbeg.
See, I knew I had it before, and I do have a Peat Monster, and that came up. Yeah. And I was like,
Peat there. So the cast strength version of Peat Monster is in this blend. Very little of it to, just kind of bump the proof up a little bit, but one of my absolute favorite peated whiskeys.
Do you get a peach out of that? A peach note?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was a tie for you guys at 2-2.
Yep.
All right, so moving on. Sample number 1. Joe, you said single malt. John, you said single pot still. I like that guess. Unfortunately, it was not correct.
That's fair.
Joe, you said 44%.
So what is
John,
it? Was it single? Was it single malt?
It is, again, a blended malt.
Oh, blended. Okay.
Yep. Joe, you said 44%. John, you said 40%. Joe, you took a point there. It is 43%.
Wow. Nice.
You both said used casking. So you both get a point there. Specific category: Joe, Scottish single malt; John, Irish single pot still. It is blended Scotch malt. So no points there. Joe, you went down to 40, and John, you stayed at 40, so no points there. It's at 43. Specific casking, ex-bourbon. That is the only thing here is ex-bourbon. So Joe, you take a point on that one. Distillery, Joe, you said Glenmorangie. And John, you said Redbreast. I'm assuming Redbreast 12 is probably the bottle that you were going for. It is actually Monkey Shoulder.
And I have that one too. I never touch it.
Yeah. So the basis of this whiskey was to make a whiskey that you could purchase to make cocktails with and not feel bad about. It is very drinkable neat if you like malty whiskey. It is rather malty, very space sidey, but just a good all-around utility whiskey. So that netted, Joe, you got 3 on that one. John, you got 1 on that one. So that is a total of 5-3 at the moment. And then to the final sample number 2. You guys did excellent on this one. Both of you did excellent on this one. You both said single malt. You both got a point. It is a single malt. Joe, you said 50%. John, you said 45%. John, you did take a point on that. It is at 43. New casking. You both said new. It is new casking. So you both got a point there. Specific category. You both said ASM. It is an ASM. Joe, you stayed at 50%. John, you stayed at 45%. So no points there. It's at 43. You both stayed with new casking only, and that is correct. So you each got a point on that one. Both excellent ASM guesses, West Lynn and Westward. However, it is out of Minnesota. It is Brother Justice.
Okay.
And this is just their single malt. This isn't the cold peated one, or they have one more, and I can't remember what that was called. But this is just their regular old single malt.
I swear that's. I was just in Minnesota not too long ago and tried some of their stuff too.
Yeah.
I go to work.
I enjoy it. He's got a really cool process, and I kind of want to learn more about it. But as far as what's in the bottle, I kind of enjoy it, especially for being as young as it is. Okay, so Joe, you got 4 on that one. John, you got 5 on that one. So that brings us to a total of 9-8 on Joe. Wow. So both of you guys, excellent. I mean, that's excellent scoring. That so far, well, that's tied for the highest show yet, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, for the season, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was Dylan and Martin got 9-8 as well.
Weren't they 8-7? No,
that might be 8-7. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I thought I remember a 9-8, but maybe this is the highest one. Maybe it was 8-7 was the one I was thinking of. So
I didn't embarrass myself, so I'll take it.
You absolutely did not embarrass yourself. You did really good, and you didn't throw up with the peated. So
yeah.
I'll save that for off air.
But just like the Cubs come up a little short. I'm sorry, I had to say that.
Joe.
So
what I was going to say before I stopped myself was I always kind of feel bad with people that absolutely just dislike peated whiskey and they get one. I put everything that I have in my cabinet that's open. Mm-hmm. I put it in a randomizer and it just spits them out. So I don't have any say in the selection. I did, however, if it landed on a peated whiskey, I did put that as the last sample in the set. So you didn't do peat first and then not be able to taste anything afterwards.
Didn't blow out your palate. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. But no, that was fun. That was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I even though not my favorites, I mean, it just keeps you pushing you outside your boundaries and, trying new things, which I'm not mad at. So
Excellent. That's, I mean, kind of my goal obviously is to have fun for one. It is fun to watch you guys struggle on some of these things. Because I mean, I struggle with it as well. Obviously, if you watch the exhibition, Marshall and I both kind of sucked at it, and Marshall was the winner from last year. But to get people to try whiskeys that maybe they would never even think about trying, and even better yet, if they find something in those samples that they actually really enjoyed, that even makes it better yet. So, other than that, oh man, I have neglected the comments.
They're just asking who's taking care of my camels. Let's
Yeah,
see
I
what
saw
else.
that was the last one I saw actually.
And apparently you're buying pizza.
Joe's buying pizza?
Oh, that's another inside joke.
Oh, they're going there with it. I don't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Who said.
Brian. Barbells.
Makes sense now.
Yep.
Dry rub monkey shoulder. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm interested.
Yeah. I'm not.
I feel like somebody gifted me a bottle of monkey shoulder once, and I don't think I've ever opened it. So
it is one of those things where it's like it's a cool bottle, and the liquor store people always push it because they get a lot of it and they got to move it out, and people aren't buying it. But the story behind it is kind of cool. Monkey shoulder is the name of which they give the guys that work in the malting floor. They're constantly raking the malt. They get what's called monkey shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of a neat thing about it.
I do think it'd work well in cocktails, though.
It absolutely does. Any cocktail that calls for specifically unpeated blended scotch or something like that, it works really, really well because it does stand up to a good amount of ingredients. So Rob Roy's Rusty Nails.
So that was number one, correct?
That was number one.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Brothers Justice was number 2.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Peat Monster Arcana for number 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go try my Peat Monster now, see if it tastes the same.
I bet you it'll taste pretty similar. Do you have the bottle or just a sample?
Just a sample.
Okay. So if you go on their website, they give you the breakdown of the exact percentages of everything that goes in it. So
Cool.
This particular one is like 70-something% Talisker, 71.4% Talisker, which is it's a really nice whiskey that's peated, but it's not heavy peated. A lot more fruity than it is peaty. But the Ardbeg in here is where most of the smoke comes from, I would venture to guess.
I just wish that it was like without me. I just wish the fruitiness stayed a little bit longer. It kind of finished pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
And then also on that ASM, did you get any like chocolate notes, like chocolate barley or like something like that on it?
Yeah, there's a bit of chocolate in there. I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't had a lot of this one.
It's like a milk chocolate, though. It's like,
yeah, I didn't get that until I finished the sample. I was like, but I'm not going to pick that bottle. Never. I mean, I've heard of it, but just never even tried it.
No, that's kind of one of the curveballs. Not many people have heard of this one.
I think they are Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Also, actually supposed to go visit them. I think end of December. I got to go back up there for work, and I got a buddy who lives up there too on Whiskey IG, and he's taking me to Keeper's Heart because they're also based out of Minneapolis. Yeah, great distillery. I mean, it was awesome.
It's an awesome, pretty building. I will say that.
Yeah,
and it's right
fantastic.
across from Surly, I think.
Yeah,
Surly
it's I mean, pretty good stuff. I mean, I've enjoyed a lot of the stuff I tried. I think the last time I was there, they had some barrels. They were doing like a honey finish.
Okay.
That they let us thieve, Phenomenal. If they ever bottle that,
It
Great bottle.
most likely it will get bottled, whether it gets bottled in a blend or on its own.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, they're fun. The master distiller there is got a pedigree like nobody's business, but he used to be the guy at Middleton Distillery, so that's Jameson and Redbreast and Spots and all that. So yeah, he came over and started doing that. Hopefully they start getting out some non-Irish American blends coming out pretty soon, because that would be really cool. So but with that, Joe, that means you move on. January 29th is your next shot. I know that's a long ways out, but
Oh, too bad it wasn't the 20th. That'd have been great.
why? What's the 20th?
My birthday.
Oh, well, it would have it would have been the 22nd was the other option. So
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I was thinking Monday.
but yes, January 29th. So after the first round, we switched to just Wednesdays. So you are on January 29th, and you will be going up against Zach. So
As long as he doesn't get any scotch. No, give him scotch, because then he'll overthink it.
So
well, it was definitely fun, man. You crushed it.
No,
thank you.
did too. Shit, it was only a
you
1
did.
point difference.
I think you both did excellent. You know, John, and I know you're not. You said earlier that you're not well versed in any of the malt or other types of whiskeys.
But I think that gives
bourbon
us an
rye
advantage
mainly,
a little bit. I think we get a little bit of advantage with that, because we can pick out what we know we don't have it, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though
Process of
we missed
elimination.
that they were blended, but we still knew that they were a scotch, you know.
Yeah.
Same with the ASM. We knew it was an ASM, but we just couldn't pinpoint it.
And a lot of it is, if you're not familiar with a category, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the category you're familiar with. So step outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that sometimes helps too.
Yeah, it's a good point, because I think, like, if it is something that you're familiar with, I think that you're right. You probably start to overthink, and you're like,
Yeah.
It's fun though. I appreciate you having me on. I mean,
Yes.
I
never fun to
appreciate you
lose, but
coming
it
in.
still was fun.
Yeah, no, it's never fun to lose, but really, realistically, nobody really loses here.
No, it was great.
You may not get to go on to the next round, but you got 3 fun samples. We had a good time. All of that. So,
yeah.
But with all that, congratulations to you both. Joe, we will see you again on the 29th. And
or you might see me Friday.
I might see you Friday.
You might not, though. But,
And again, thank you to the sponsors. I did not mention all of them today, but thank you to our sponsors, Richards Liquors. Definitely thank you to them. Also, 10th Mountain Whiskey
Hey.
out of Vail, Colorado, making all kinds of excellent spirits, bourbon, rye, and single malt for the whiskey lovers, and a few other things for the
cordial,
non-whiskey
brandy.
lovers. Yes. And the Bourbon with Friends podcast, which I think all 3 of the members were here tonight. And all 3 of the members are on the show. So,
well,
somebody loves
technically
losing.
4.
You're killing me, Joe.
What?
Not invited. That's what it is. That's what it is. Joe is the editor. So there's 4 members. All 3 are in the chat. Joe is the 4th member on the show. Thank you for the correction, Joe. All right. And other than that, gentlemen, I thank you for coming on. Everybody in the chat, I thank you for tuning in and keeping the chat active. Moderators, thank you for dropping links and everything in that end. And until tomorrow with Patty and Stacy at 4 Leaf Whiskey, cheers to this American spirit.
All right, sláinte.
Cheers, y'all.